Is gold preparing for another crash below 4100 or a smart massive reversal? In this video, I will analyze and break down the weekly, daily and 4-hour chart, identify the key support and resistance zones, and discuss the major economic events that could create instability this coming week. Let's start with the big picture. Starting from the weekly time frame, the market structure remains bearish. We can clearly see that sellers took control and have been pushing price lower for several straight weeks. The most important observation is that gold is now trading near the psychological support area around 4200. This level is critical because it previously acted as resistance. Buyers have attempted to defend this zone. A weekly close below this area would strengthen the bearish trend. Looking at the momentum, sellers are still dominant. However, the size of the recent candle is beginning to shrink, suggesting that bearish movement is slowing. Therefore, for upcoming week, the major weekly resistance is around 4320 to 4350, and the major weekly support is around 4080 to 4100. If sellers break below 4100, the next downside target could extend toward the 4000 psychological level. But if buyers defend support, we could see a corrective rally back toward 4300 and beyond. Now let's move to the daily chart. The daily structure confirms the bearish trend. The last few days candle shows uncertainty. Currently price is waiting at around 4219, and the key levels to watch on a daily time frame are support around 4180 to 4100 and resistance around 4280 to 4320. My ideal setup: so as long as the price remains below 4320, sellers maintain control. A rejection from resistance could create another move toward 4100. However, if buyers manage to close above 4320 on a daily time frame, it would be the first sign that a larger correction may be starting. At the moment, the daily chart still favors in bears. Now let's zoom into the 4-hour chart for next week trading opportunities. The 4-hour time frame shows something very interesting. After the aggressive sell-off, price formed a short-term base near 4050 and has started consolidating. This tells us that buyers are attempting to stabilize the market. The immediate range are resistance at around 4240 to 4260 and the support is around 4180 to 4200. My trading scenario for this week: if price breaks above 4260 and closes strongly, buyers may target 4300, 4320 and 4350. But if price fails at resistance and falls below 4180, the target becomes 4120, 4100 and 4050. The bearish scenario currently has a slightly higher probability because it aligns with the daily and weekly trend. Now let's discuss the events that could move gold next week. The biggest event is the Federal Reserve interest rate decision, and press conference is on June 17. Market widely expect rates to remain unchanged, but traders will focus on the Fed's tone regarding inflation and future policies. Also, we have the scheduled news regarding US retail sales, FOMC rate decisions, Federal Reserve press conference, jobless claims, and manufacturing data. These events can significantly impact the US dollar and therefore gold prices. The recent US inflation data showed inflation running at its highest level in about 3 years, keeping pressure on the Federal Reserve. Higher inflation and expectations of tighter monetary policy can weigh on gold prices. You may expect instability around these announcements. To summarize, weekly trend is bearish, daily trend is also bearish. Short-term 4-hour trend looks like a consolidation. Key levels for next week: resistance levels are 4260, 4320 and 4350. Support levels are 4180, 4100 and 4050. As long as gold remains below 4320, sellers have the advantage. A break below 4180 could trigger another wave of selling, while a breakout above 4260 would increase the probability of a corrective rally. If you found this analysis helpful, hit the like button, subscribe the channel and comment below bullish or bearish for next week gold market. Thanks for watching and trade